If you could go back 10, 20, even 30 years and give your younger self the best anti-aging advice, what would it be? We've spent decades learning what really works, what's a waste of time, and the biggest mistakes people make when trying to fight aging. And trust me, there are things we wish we had started way earlier. Today, we're sharing 30 of the most important anti-aging secrets, things we wish we knew sooner, things that could have saved us time, money, and frustration. Whether you're 25 or 55, these tips will help you build better habits, avoid common mistakes, and get the best skin of your life at any age.
Today we are going to talk about aging, the long game of aging. All of the things that we wish we would have known years and years ago.
Started a long time ago.
Exactly. And I think we're going to hit about 30 of those points. And, let's just take it away from here.
Yeah.
So when should someone get started?
Well, obviously, it is important to always be taking care of your skin and trying to prevent things. It's not just trying to fix it. So I think, even in maybe like your teen years, I think if you're old enough to realize and want to put a face cream on, then you should be using, proper things that are going to help you as you're, getting older to help things better. I feel though too, like even little children, I mean, your skincare could be as simple as some sunblock.
Sure.
Some moisturizer, some shea butter, some emu oil, even a little baby, you're putting some skincare on.
So basically just creating some form of regimen that you are following is a good first step.
Yeah. And you start as young as possible. I say, of course, put it on little children. But when you're like in your teens and you're thinking about, hey, I want to put a moisturizer on. Well, let's put a moisturizer that's actually going to help you.
Exactly.
Right?
So number 2 is not wearing SPF every day.
Yeah, that's so important to wear sunblock. That's something that you have to start when you're, again, a little child. A parent has to be doing this for their children because, boy, when you start getting that sun damage, it's just going to keep compounding and you're damaging your tissues and your DNA and you're just setting yourself up for trouble.
Right.
So, SPF, we want to say 50 predominantly if you have lighter skin. And if you're darker skin, let's say Fitzpatrick 4 through 6, you do need a little bit more sun. So I would say about an SPF 30 for them.
Okay, number 3, skipping your neck and your hands.
Yeah, when you do your face, just please go ahead right down to your neck, even on your décolleté, and then put any leftovers on your hands, your arms. I always do a couple of multiple things so I have enough to put everywhere. If you think about it, the skin on your face is thin, but the skin on your neck is actually thinner. So this area is going to show age much faster than your face. And your hands, we all know that we're not taking enough care of our hands. That's just, I don't know, it's so important.
Definitely the hands. We're cleansing our hands all the time. Hand sanitizer. Really need to keep your hands nice and moisturized.
Well, yeah, even if you do it right in the morning, you're washing it off 10 times a day. So it's important to have something in your bag. Even things like shea butter, stuff like that. I love something like that. At least it'll last a little bit, even through hand washes.
Got it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Number 4, thinking that drugstore retinols are strong enough.
Oh, yeah. If they're not putting a percentage or claiming a strength on there, there's nothing in there. And when you think of retinoids, they're already in there in such minuscule amounts because it's such a strong, vitamin A is so strong. Even prescription vitamin A is a maximum of 1%. So if you're putting anything less than, 0.05 on, you're not doing anything. You really have to be smart and you have to buy it from somebody that's going to show you the percentages, the actual percentages, and not play games with their percentages either.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Oh gosh, that's so huge. And it's something I have a huge problem with. So I want to just talk about it for a hot second. Is there are a lot of times where you buy a specific retinoid, and let's say there's a percentage in there, and then you're putting a percentage of that percentage in there, and you're claiming that you're putting, 1% in, when you're really putting 1% of 15% in there.
It's a blend.
And oh, you're not going to find those correct things, especially not in a drugstore, but even most places aren't going to be honest with you like we are.
But you will find that Platinum Skincare puts the most amount of the ingredient that formula will stably hold.
Yeah.
And we will tell you exactly what is in there.
Yeah.
Our website will list all of the ingredients, give you all of the information that you would need.
Yeah, if we list a percentage, it's guaranteed.
Yes, absolutely. Number 5, not reapplying sunscreen as often as you should.
Yeah, that's big. And it's not the biggest deal. Let's say if you're just you put your products on, you put your sunblock on, you're going to hop in your car, go to work. You're outside, 5-10 minutes. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
You don't need to reapply it. But if you're then going to go out after work and spend some time out, it's still sunny, you should reapply it. I mean, if you're spending time at the beach, you should reapply it. Anytime that you're going to be in the sun for like 1 to 2 hours,
Right.
but you need to put it on again. And I know it's not fun to put it on after makeup.
Sure.
But if you don't want to rewash your face and put makeup on again, you can apply it on top. There are some sprays, there are powders. Anything that you do is going to definitely help you to prevent, things like skin cancer and all this.
And we do offer a couple of sunscreens that have a tint in them as well. So that does make it easier when you're, applying over top.
We do. And then we also have the stick.
Yeah, the mineral stick
I think is the easiest way to reapply. A stick or a powder.
Right.
Something like that's going to be the easiest way.
Excellent. And always make sure you're applying enough as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, number one, nobody applies enough. I can guarantee you. Like just take a little quick tip, take your pointer finger, your index finger, and run a thick gob all the way down. I mean, that's how much you need. Wow. It's not just a little pea-sized amount is not nearly enough.
Yeah.
You should feel like you've put too much on.
Got it.
And that's right. Otherwise, you're not getting the SPF that is on the thing. It could say SPF 50, but if you're putting a little dab on, you might be getting like an SPF 20.
Wow. I bet that's a big mistake people are making and they don't even know it.
Huge mistake.
Mm-hmm. Number 6, over-exfoliating.
We don't want to over-exfoliate. That's why we always try to focus on something like an acid cleanser, not an acid cleanser plus an acid toner plus an acid serum. That's too much. And that could, damage your skin's barrier and some things like that. I feel like you can pick one. Mm-hmm. And I always feel that the cleanser is just the easiest one.
Right.
And it doesn't even sit on the skin. So especially for people that are more sensitive to acids.
Absolutely.
I think the cleanser is the way to go. Now, if you require more exfoliation, then of course, maybe like the Serum 15, you could use that 2-3 times a week. I think that's plenty.
Maybe
but
even
don't go overboard.
Dermapen scrub is a great option.
Yes, it has the enzymes and the physical scrubbing. Yeah. So you could definitely get some great exfoliation with that.
Number 7, under-exfoliating.
Yeah, now, let's flip it over. Yeah. You need to exfoliate. Right. If there are people that are using as moisturizing this cleanser and moisturizing toners and all these essences and all these things, you're not getting the dead skin off. And there are like 2 ways to get the dead skin off. One is, of course, using an acid. Mm-hmm. Acid cleanser, I think, is the easiest, quickest thing to do, right? And then also incorporating something like retinoids into your regimen. Now, while they're not an exfoliator, they do speed up the turnover of those cells, and they make them come off quicker, and the new ones come up faster, so you are going to be smoother in the long run. I prefer that you do both. Right. But if you're not doing that, then your skin is going to look dull and
if you think about it, you really want to keep it exfoliated so the products that you are using are penetrating into, your skin. They're not just sitting on top of like a barrier of dead skin cells.
Yeah, if you've got 20-some layers in your stratum corneum and they're all there, I mean, nothing's penetrating. Yeah. And your skin's a barrier as it is. So let's take off some of those top layers. And now your products are going to penetrate deep where they need to. Good point.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're listening to this thinking, wait, am I making the same mistake? You're not alone. That's exactly why we made Peel University, so you never have to guess or worry about doing it wrong. It's free, super easy to follow, and gives you everything you need to feel confident about peels.
Number 8, ignoring hydration.
Yeah, dry skin always looks dull
Yeah.
and it can be red, it can be irritated. You have to use a moisturizer.
Right.
And obviously the best thing that you can do is it freshly after you've washed your face. While your face is still damp, put that water on there.
Right.
Go ahead and put like your serums on. Put a nice moisturizer that's going to help to keep the water in there. And then top that with an oil if you can.
Okay.
And that's going to reduce transepidermal water loss. So, we're trapping it in there. So your skin's going to feel moisturized and plump and glowy and dewy, not dry and cracked and those lines look worse. I mean, it's so important.
And your makeup goes on so much smoother if you have really nice hydrated skin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the
So much
lines,
easier
you'll
to put on.
see so many lines and more. It just doesn't look fabulous if your skin is dehydrated.
No. And of course, drink some extra water too,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
Number 9, sleeping on a cotton pillowcase.
Yeah, well, all right. I have cotton pillowcases at home. Mind you, they're super silky, like a high thread count, right? I'm not sleeping on a 180 count pillowcase. If you're going to sleep on a cotton pillowcase, it needs to be a super smooth, kind of like a sateen.
Okay.
Or I prefer like to sleep on something like a satin pillowcase. And I do for my hair, number one, because it stops your hair from getting frizzy.
Sure.
But it does help you to, when you lay your face down, it helps, when you're moving, it's not like gripping your skin and holding it in place,
Got you.
pushing on lines and making them worse. But I mean, I don't think it's an anti-aging miracle concept, but I do think it can be beneficial.
And obviously changing your pillowcase often as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's something that
I think most of us do, but it's just a nice, gentle
more
reminder.
than weekly, it would be better.
Yeah.
And if you have problem skin, that is just imperative that you change that pillowcase multiple times a week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Number 10, using makeup remover wipes or cleansing wipes instead of a cleanser.
Yeah, I'm not fond of makeup wipes at all.
Yeah.
Just the concept.
Right?
There's this tiny little thing that's got a little bit of, soap on there. So you just think that you're just going to wipe that and you're going to get everything off.
No.
What you need is you need to use a cleanser. And you need to actually rub that cleanser into your skin for at least 30 seconds. You have to allow them to break down the oils and the makeup and all that. And you can't do that with just a wipe.
No.
Just a single once-over wipe that's probably mostly moisturizer because they're trying to balance. I don't even think they tell you to wash or rinse after that wipe. It's just like wipe and you're all done.
Right.
No, you haven't done anything.
Yeah, there's probably moisturizing properties on that wipe, so you're not even really getting everything off.
No, I don't think you're going to clean anything off any more than you would if you had a wet washcloth and wiped that.
Right.
You're not doing anything and you're leaving the soap residue and all that kind of stuff on your face. It's important to suds it up and wash it off.
Yeah.
And I do encourage washing with either, like a little scrubby pad.
Yeah, sure.
Or for sure a washcloth because you want to physically exfoliate the skin. I mean, that's the only thing that a wipe has some sort of a benefit because at least it is usually a little bit of a texture, so you can wipe a little bit, but I don't think that's doing a good job at all.
No. Number 11, not taking photos to track your results.
Oh my gosh. If I've said it a dozen times today, I say it 100 times plus a week.
Yeah.
It is so important to take photos.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter if you're starting a new regimen, a single new product, you're going to do a peel series or microinfusion, whatever you're doing, take that starting picture because you will never be able to say with any certainty that this is looking better. You'd be like, I think it is, or it might be.
Yeah.
No, you would know 100% if you took the photo. Take a photo, I say once a month.
Right.
You don't need to take it every week or anything. I don't think there's big substantial changes in a week, but at least once every 30 days.
Yeah.
Take it. And then don't expect any big changes until at least day 60 or 90.
Right.
So by the time you're looking at day 1 and day 90, you're going to see, oh yeah, this line is a little bit shorter now than it was, or that mark is definitely faded more than it was. But you might not be able to see that.
Right. Try to take the photos also same lighting,
same room, same room.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll really get a good side-by-side to compare.
Absolutely. Gosh darn it. That is just the most important thing ever.
And it will give you motivation to keep on with your regimen.
Yeah. Well, look how it looks in 90 days. Can you imagine? Like a lot of the photos that we share online, these people, they've maybe have been doing something for 10 months, a year, 2 years or more. And you look at those and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe it's the same person.
It's crazy.
Well, what if they didn't take a picture and didn't look and they thought, oh, that's not working, and threw that aside? They wouldn't have that amazing result because they would have given up and move on to the next thing.
Yes.
You just have to be patient and you have to have that photo proof.
Yeah. Now let's move on to the best anti-aging habits.
Okay.
Number 12, using vitamin C.
Yeah. Vitamin C or another antioxidant. Antioxidants are so important.
Right.
And something that you need to be using every single day because, you know, every ingredient has a different function, right? So antioxidants, those are the preventatives. Those are the things that you want to put on before you go outside into the sun, before you walk into that polluted city or whatever. These are the things that are going to fix those damages as you're living them in real time.
Kind of helping to combat some of that damage that would be occurring.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a superhero fighting.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a cape and it's coming up and it's full of electrons. And when the sun is hitting your cell and all of a sudden this one breaks off and now it's a free radical and now you're in trouble. Well, that's okay because vitamin C to the rescue and it's going to give you one of their electrons and fix it and now you're good again.
Right.
But if you weren't putting that on, you're just going to have those damages and they're going to keep compounding and compounding. Prevention is just key.
So vitamin C is crucial.
Vitamin C
of your regimen.
is like the super antioxidant, right? It's been around for so long. There are more, of course, but that's just a winner. It's so easy.
Perfect. Number 13, applying sunscreen to your eyelids and your lips.
Yeah, I mean, I know there are some people that are maybe a little bit more sensitive, right? My eyes are sensitive, my eyes get a little drippy, all that kind of stuff. Well, the most important thing is to just choose the right SPF.
Right.
So like with the Coats brand that we carry, we have the sensitive.
Right.
Okay, so if you are sensitive, then go ahead and make sure that you're choosing the right one so you can put it on all the areas. And you don't, where I would say normally, you know, you put it on very thick on your face. If your eyes are super sensitive, of course, you could put a little bit less on, right? You know, you also want your eye makeup and things to go on properly, but you can't skip things like eyes or lips. They get sun damage too.
Yeah.
They get wrinkles, their collagen gets damaged. And as a matter of fact, your eyes, they're one of the quickest places to age. So absolutely, you don't want to skip an area like that.
And we do have an SPF lip balm.
Yes.
That is very, very good for your lips and reapply.
Perfect. It's an SPF 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. Number 14 is layering your skincare products correctly.
Right. It is important. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but if you want the very most from every single ingredient, the best thing is to know what order to put them on. Right. So wash your face. Obviously, cleansers are first. If you use a toner or astringent, I don't generally push that on people. Right. That's like I consider that part of the washing. You know.
Yeah,
wash,
step 2.
Wash and tone. Yeah. Okay, that's the same thing. All right, now we're into our leave-on products. Right. And we want to start with thin to thick, right? So we got our serums. And sometimes you can have a variety of serums, right? So we want to use anything that has an acid in it first, or that's an alcohol. That would go on.
Okay.
And then we move to anything that's water-based. And we do that because acids and alcohols, you know, the alcohol is going to dissipate, the acid's going to go into the skin. It doesn't leave any kind of coverage, right? Then move on to your water-based serums. Then you want to lock all that in with a cream. Right. And then if you're going to put an oil on, not everybody does, but especially if you're dry, super beneficial.
And then a drop or two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because that's all going to help to prevent you losing your water, transepidermal water loss.
Got it.
And then last is always SPF.
Right.
And the reason that SPF is last is because we're using physical blockers like titanium dioxide or zinc. And what those do is they actually reflect the sun's rays.
Okay.
So you wouldn't want to put that on first. And because if that's the case, then you're going to block other ingredients from penetrating. They always need to be last because they reflect. And then once that sets for a few, then you can put makeup and anything you want, just like you are applying to bare skin.
Yeah, I think that's probably a big mistake that people make, that they don't realize that they're putting their sunscreen on first instead of last. And it really needs to go last.
It must go last. Yeah, because it's a barrier, basically. You don't want to put a barrier on and then put all your good things on.
Right.
You want to put the most important things, at least to you, on first.
Right.
So that those are going to penetrate the easiest. And that doesn't stop other products going on top from penetrating.
Right.
But it's going to take them a little bit longer to get in there.
Got it.
Here's the thing. There isn't a one-size-fits-all peel. Your skin type, your concerns, and even your lifestyle all play a role. That's why we created the Peel Finder tool. You answer a few quick questions, and it tells you exactly what's right for you.
All right, number 15, using more advanced treatments like microinfusion, chemical peels, peptides,
LED. There's so many things.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah, so let's not just concentrate on our daily products. Those are so important. A daily regimen is everything. But don't end it there.
Right.
You have to start adding, as a habit, using other things like microinfusion. You could do that once every 2 weeks.
Right.
You could use something like LED every single day if you wanted to. Every other day is fine.
Sure.
Chemical peels, IPL.
Right.
There's so many things. But your skin needs that. Your skin, almost a lot of these, not the LED, but a lot of the other things, the microinfusion and the peels, they all kind of purposefully wound the skin a little bit and force it to regenerate. You're not going to get that.
Right.
Not as aggressively with a daily product. But if you start doing something like that, something intense, even just once a month, you're going to see dramatic changes in your skin with all that new collagen and elastin that's really generating because of these little micro wounds.
And I think mixing it up a little bit too is good.
I agree. Like, you don't just do one. Like, if we've done peels for many years, but now we have the microinfusion because that's like the perfect counterbalance. Do this one, and then 2 weeks later you could do this one, and then maybe a month later you can do this one, and keep your skin guessing. Don't always do the same thing. It's not going to know. It can't build up a tolerance, or if you're doing the same thing constantly, your skin could be a little tolerant. You always have to move up levels and things like that. But if you're always jumping around, you don't have to, advance so quickly.
And the one good thing about the Illuminate LED mask is when you are taking a break from peels, there is no downtime with the mask. You can use it every other day, like you said, even daily if you wish. And, if you're taking that break during the summer months, the mask is a must.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And what a simple thing to do with zero downtime.
It literally, and it just, you will see results. I mean, it just really does help with firming and tightening and all these amazing things. And you're really, there's no pain, there's no downtime. It's
the no pain, no gain doesn't apply to that one.
No, it's amazing. I love it. And that is why number 16 is the LED mask.
Oh, yeah. It's an investment up front. Not a huge investment, but it's a little bit of an investment. But if you think about the fact that you're going to use this so often, and LED lights literally last for thousands of hours. So you're going to have that mask for years.
Yeah.
It can last 2-3 years for you, maybe even more.
Absolutely.
I mean, and if one LED goes after 3 years, well, you can still continue using it. They spread out and create light on your face. But gosh darn it, it is just one of the easiest things that you could possibly do to help stimulate all that new growth and healing and regeneration in your skin. It's just an amazing. I wanted to say too that you can use it obviously on top of other things. If you did microinfusion, you can use that to calm the skin. You could use it after an IPL treatment. You could use it after a chemical peel. You could use it after a burn, and I'm talking like a sunburn outside, because it can help to reduce the inflammation and calm and heal the skin more quickly.
And let's not forget about the blue light that really helps with acne-prone skin.
Acne, excessive oil production.
For sure.
it can really help with that. Definite good cause.
Number 17, adding in chemical peels to your routine.
Yeah, I mean, this is a given, given who we are.
Yes.
But I mean, we know the humongous benefits from chemical peels.
Absolutely.
They are stimulating new collagen and elastin in the skin. And the milder ones, anybody can do.
Right.
Anybody can do if you want. No downtime.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it, do like a lactic peel.
Sure.
You don't mind a little dryness, do like a mandelic or a glycolic. If you have oily skin, acne skin, use a salicylic. I mean, it's so easy and it's so specific. Whatever problem you have, there's an acid that's going to help you.
For sure.
If you're ready for something stronger and you're dealing with, lines, fine lines, deep lines, scarring, move to the TCA. And then, Jesner for hyperpigmentation, really aggressive acne, things like that. And you can start combining them. There's just so many things to do. And of course, the vitamin A peel too, for somebody that maybe doesn't like the sting of applying an acid.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the chemical peel is just an easy way to really bump your skin up to the next level.
And that's why it's good to do them in a series.
A cycle, yeah.
Cycle, because you're going to keep that collagen stimulated after each peel.
Yes.
So if you stick on a regimen and you're doing, 6 to 8, either weekly, biweekly, monthly, whatever the acid calls for, just be consistent.
Absolutely. Consistency is key.
That's right. Number 18, using retinol in your PM routine.
Oh, yeah. And, it's always important to use retinoids at night because the sun rays or the UV rays could damage retinoids.
Right.
So it's fine to put them on during the day if that's what works with your system, with whatever your lifestyle is. Always make sure to put some SPF on top of that, to protect them and protect you. Make it a physical SPF. But the very best time to apply them is, of course, at night. And I find like it's the easiest time. Ours, because we put a lot of retinoids in there, it's a little yellow.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's supposed to be. It shows how much is in there.
For sure.
I've had a few people say that, I put it on and my skin, like I look like I have jaundice or I look like yellow.
Sounds like they're putting out a lot.
Sounds like they've put out a lot, yeah. But, I mean, that's another reason.
Sure.
If you wanted to choose a time of day.
Yes.
There's another one, we don't want to walk outside with a yellow face, at least with the higher percentages. But darn it is so important. It's one of the most anti-aging things I think that you can do in your daily regimen. It's just key, and everyone should be using a retinoid, and whichever one.
Yeah, we do have an alternative, our Essential FX.
Yeah, with the
Bakuchiol. Do have a little bit of a retinol sensitivity.
Yeah, if you don't, and I truly think absolutely anybody could work up into using a retinoid.
Sure.
Because A, you could use it once or twice a week.
Right.
B, you can mix it with another product and really dilute it so you could use it more days. But if for some reason maybe you are still doing that and you're using that once, the rest of the days of the week, use another form of vitamin A.
Yeah.
A natural form of vitamin A, like the bakuchiol or carrot oil and things like that.
For sure.
All the different essential oils that are in our essential effects are vitamin A type of oils. So that is another great alternative for someone that has really sensitive or really dry skin.
Number 19, staying hydrated, drinking enough water, and obviously having a healthy diet.
Yeah, it's so important to drink water.
Right.
I mean, even me, I'll, reach for things that maybe not be the greatest, some caffeine drink or something like that. And that's not the best for your skin. Right. Caffeine actually gets rid of the water.
Right.
And so does alcohol, things like that. So you need to constantly be replenishing that water.
Right.
And I'm not one to say, you need to drink 8 glasses a day because everybody's different. But if you're going to reach for a drink, at least reach for water.
Yeah.
As often as you can, most of the time, every other time.
They say to try to drink like a nice full glass in the morning, try to drink a full glass with your lunch, try to drink a full glass with your dinner, and then sips throughout the day.
Yeah. And it's not true that, once you're thirsty, it's too late. You can always, drink when you're thirsty.
Sure.
You don't have to force it down. If you're not thirsty and that just looks, then don't. And I find too that sometimes I like flavor in my water.
Yes.
And I don't like to add like a sweetener.
Right.
Add something that's not a sugar. you know, or a little bit of lemon, just something.
Nice.
Just give it a little bit of flavor. Like sometimes I'm not in the mood for water. Sometimes I like different brands of water better than others, as silly as that is.
You can always put a little fruit in there too.
That would be really tasty. Yeah, cucumbers.
Yeah.
Now that's not my favorite, but that's another good way to get actual water. Cucumbers and watermelon. That's what I was looking for.
There you go.
So full of water. So there you go. If you're not drinking all your water, you know, a couple bites of one of those fruits will really help.
Yeah, perfect. Number 20, realizing that consistency matters more than expensive products.
Right. If there is one lesson that I think everybody needs to learn, that they want to change their skin, improve their skin, it is consistency is key. We say this 1,000 times. I think we say this every time we talk.
Yeah.
It's all about consistency. You cannot do it once or for a week or even for a month and then just stop and think, well, it didn't work. You know, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking like 60 to 90 days. You have to give every product a chance.
For sure.
And of course, you have to have that photo so you can give yourself your visual proof.
Very true.
But if you are using these things every day consistently, you will see changes. I can't say it enough. And most of the time, if somebody comes to me and they're like, well, I'm just not seeing changes. Okay. All right. How often are you using that Fusion A retinoid?
Right.
Well, you know, I've used it like once or twice. And then I'm like, no. Your goal is to try to use this every day. Start with 2 or 3 times. If your skin's doing well, add on another day. Your skin's doing well, add on another day. You know, I'm like, give it a chance. Use it consistently and you will see huge differences. And not just with retinoids, with everything.
Yes, yeah. Just keep it up. Keep it going.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now let's move into anti-aging myths that we have become accustomed to believing for way too long. Number 21, only expensive treatments will work.
False. Not at all. Not at all. It doesn't matter how much money it costs you.
Right.
I do want to put a little caveat to that because sometimes people can give you a product that's excessively cheap. And that's usually because they're just sprinkling that active in there.
Right.
So there, yeah, for sure. If it's way too cheap, it probably isn't a good product. But just because it's expensive does not mean anything other than that company might have higher bills to pay, or they're paying advertisers, or they're paying this supermodel to talk about it, or there are reasons that it has to cost that much money. Most of the time, I would say almost all the time, you can get the same kinds of wonderful products, you know, to use at home. That's my goal, and it always has been my goal, is to make things super potent and very affordable. And I don't mean cheap, because I'm putting a lot in there. It probably costs me more to make this product than it costs them to make that product.
For sure.
But I'm going to charge a more economical price so that everybody can have it.
And when you compare some things like, let's say, an at-home chemical peel, you know, when you compare that to the price you would be paying at a salon, a spa, a dermatology office, I mean, you're going to get a year's worth of peels for the price of maybe 1 or 2 peels.
Oh, yeah. It ends up being a couple dollars to do a peel at home as opposed to, you know, $150 or something to get a peel.
Yeah. And thankfully, you've come up with, you know, this business was created on that, basically that idea of affordable skincare.
Yeah, and the need.
The need was there.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest mistake people make is treating their skin the same way year-round. Your routines should change based on your skin's needs. That's why we made the Regimen Builder. It customizes everything for you, so you don't have to guess.
Number 22, Botox and fillers are the only way to correct wrinkles.
No, that's false.
Yeah.
Of course, there's many. No, those are great. There's nothing wrong with any of those. And if that's what you want to do, that's wonderful.
Yep, absolutely.
But there are so many other things that you can do at home that are going to do very, very similar or exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? So you have things like using the LED light or the microinfusion.
Yes.
I mean, let's think about that for a second. Microinfusion is literally, or needling, called collagen induction therapy. It's creating collagen in the skin. So You don't have to go get an injection to create this collagen. You're doing it yourself at home.
Yeah.
You're doing it yourself. Chemical peels, collagen, elastin, glycosaminoglycans. Those are going to thicken and plump the underlying layers of your skin so you can have firmer, tighter skin. You don't need to do an injection for that.
Right.
You know, the IPL, that's going to do things that we have at home.
Oh, yeah.
The Vis IPL that we have.
Yes.
Things like that, super beneficial. And then I also want to just take a hot second to talk about like specific active ingredients. Like we have the adipofillin. So anywhere where you have, and it can be in like the under eye area.
Yes.
And the sides where your adipose tissues are, and can help to expand the tissues and fill in areas.
Help with those hollows.
The hollows. Yeah. And there's several ingredients. So we have the Sculpticins and the Skin Actora. A lot of those are injection alternatives. The Stinake is an injection alternative.
Absolutely.
Like for Botox, helps to like slow down the muscle contractions. And you can use them in combination. So let's say you're getting your Botox treatments and you're also putting the topical neuropeptides on. That will extend how long you can go in between injections. So there's just many, many alternatives. It doesn't have to always be an expensive injection.
Very true. Number 23, you do not need sunscreen indoors.
Well, false. I mean, you do. And let's say it should be part of your morning. You get ready, you put your skincare products on, you should always put an SPF.
Yes.
What can happen, and it isn't the great thing like going outside into the sun, but obviously, if you're hanging out by a window and the sun is coming in, sun goes right through the window unless you have specific filters on your windows, which pretty much nobody does at their house. And then there's also a study that was showing that actual damage can come from light bulbs.
Oh, interesting.
So like the older incandescent light bulbs are like the worst.
Oh, wow.
So LED is much, much better.
Okay.
So if you're going to, you know, change out the lights in your house, LED is the safest.
Got it.
But it's still important to put it on. Just it needs to be a part of your daily habit.
Right.
And then, you know, if you are inside all day, well, then you've protected yourself a little bit more from any extra damages that could have happened.
Got it. Number 24. Oily skin does not need moisturizer.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite. Oily skin does need moisturizer, and you need to moisturize it before it starts kicking out the oil. The reason I think most people with really oily skin just keep falling into that cycle and rut is because they're constantly, they wash it and they just want to put nothing on it. No, it's okay, it's like this. And then they've got their little blotting things and all this kind of stuff. When what you really want to do is you wash your face while it's damp. You need to put a moisturizer on. You need to lock that moisture in your skin. You can even put a couple drops of like an enema oil or something like that. Rub it in your hands. Gently put it on there. Now what you've done is you've hydrated your skin and you've locked the moisture in. So now your skin does not feel the urgent need to keep pumping out oil because I'm dry, I'm dry. That's why it's constantly overproducing. So number one, always put a moisturizer on and put it on immediately. And you will find that your skin does not produce nearly as much oil. I want to say too, another thing that's really good for that is using retinoids. Retinoids help to kind of balance the sebum production in the skin.
Gotcha.
So that will help turn it down a little bit, but you really need to lock in the moisture and then you won't be producing excessive amounts. And sometimes it's not the first day that this really kicks in. It can take a little bit for your skin to kind of relax and go, oh, okay, I don't have to do this anymore.
So you're kind of tricking those sebaceous glands.
Yeah, calm down. We got you.
Right. And clients with oily skin are very worried about what they're going to put on because they feel like they're going to get a clogged pores or, you know, it's going to maybe create a breakout. That over oil production is what is causing the acne. So
and it's getting, you know, clogged up with the excess debris that's going in there. So, you know, nice clean skin, use something like the AB cleanser. And I love the vitamin B cream for that because it's not a heavy moisturizer, but it's going to keep your skin moisturized enough where you're not going to be pumping out those oils.
Perfect. Number 25, your skin adapts or acclimates to products, so you need to switch it up.
Well, false. I mean, your skin can adapt and can acclimate, and then you may need to up a percentage or something like that. So this happens commonly with acids and with retinoids, right? So you start at a low percentage and you work your way up.
Right.
But just because you've worked your way to the maximum percentage doesn't mean that it's not working anymore.
Right.
It's just keeping you at that level. Maybe there's no more to do. That's why I'm always telling people, like, don't rush to the next percentage. Take your time because there's only so far you can go. And then you're at the end. Then what are you going to do? Right? It's not a rush to get to the top. It's not a rush to use the strongest product. Stay where you are and grow slowly. But when you do reach that point, it's still benefiting your skin in the same way.
Sure.
Now, there is another school of thought where people like to cycle things.
Right.
And I think that's a great idea.
Sure.
Maybe you're using, serum 15. Maybe you're using an acid tonight or for the next 3 nights. And then after that, you're using your retinoid for the next few nights.
Yes.
I think as long as you're using these ingredients regularly,
Yes.
You're getting your retinoid in every week and you're getting your acids in every week, then you're still going to get all the benefits. And then, keeping your skin guessing. I am always for keeping your skin guessing.
Excellent. 26, you have to use prescription retinol.
That's a false. And here's the reason why. Okay, retinoic acid is what retin-A is, tretinoin, all the same thing. It's retinoic acid.
Okay.
Your skin, the only thing that your skin can work with is retinoic acid. So if you put that on, your skin works immediately with it. The only problem is because it's the pure acid, it can be extremely irritating. It can cause a lot of sensitivity, right?
Okay.
Now, here's the special thing. Everything underneath that, so we've got like hydroxypanacolone retinoid, which is grain-active retinoid. That's that's an ester of tretinoin. And you've got retinaldehyde, and you've got retinol, and then you've got retinol palmitate, and all the little milder, they keep getting milder. No matter what, every single one of them is enzymatically converted by your skin to turn into retinoic acid, and then it can work. So it doesn't matter which retinol, which over-the-counter retinol or retinol type product, retinoid that you're using, it will always end up turning into retinoic acid, which is the prescription. The difference is the strength. And another benefit is because that straight retinoic acid is so irritating, right?
Right.
If you're putting something on, like let's say retinol, very common. You put that on, now it penetrates into your skin, and then it turns into retinoic acid. Well, you've just avoided the whole area, like on the top surface of your skin, where it's so irritating and causes such, downtime and all that kind of stuff. So it's just making it a more gentle approach.
Right.
It's not taking away from the acid. It's always the acid. It's always going to work.
Sure.
It's just an easier time, and especially if you have like more sensitive skin or anything like that, you're younger, maybe you're a teen and you've got acne and you need to use it. Well, sometimes that's just too strong and irritating. Your whole face can be a mess.
Right.
So using something over the counter, it's just a gentler approach.
Right.
It's not going to work any differently.
Correct.
It's going to work at different times, but it's just gentle.
Right. Like our Fusion has that unique delivery system.
Yeah, we have the 3 different retinoids in there.
Exactly.
Right.
And it goes on nice, and then it converts once it's in your skin.
Exactly. And the only ingredient that doesn't is the grain-active retinoid. I mean, that's because it is an ester of tretinoin, which means it still works immediately.
Right.
So that's actually a benefit with that one. That's actually one of the newer retinoids, right? So that's the hydroxypanacolone retinoid. That's the one that has a really low irritation factor.
Right.
Yet it does start to work right away. So that's like a super ingredient for people that want a little bit more effective, but really want to avoid that irritation of the prescriptions.
Sounds like a great blend in that Fusion.
Right.
Sure.
It is, clearly.
Number 27. Once you have wrinkles, it's too late.
False. No, we can always improve our lines. There's no question about it. If you've been, living the past 20 years not really caring, this is what happens all the time. Everybody's here like, I laid out, I put baby oil on as a kid. I did this. I've never done anything for my skin. Now my skin looks like this. Now am I stuck with this? No. Now you need to just get started on the right regimen. Start using retinoids, start using acids, start doing microinfusion, use all these different treatments, and we're going to start stimulating collagen and elastin. We're physically changing your skin.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to make it thicker down deep below where it counts, where your collagen and elastin is. And we're going to thin all those layers of dead skin that's doing nothing but attribute to making your lines look thicker. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, especially if you have a lot of pronounced lines. But I guarantee you they will be improved greatly. And I'm talking in a few months, you'll start to see changes. Of course, we got to take those pictures. But that's when we see the pictures where we have people that, let's say they've been doing something for a year, 2 years. I mean, they look like 25 years younger.
Yeah, right.
So there's no question that it's never too late.
The story I hear a lot is the neck. They'll, realize one day they're, in their 50s and they say, oh my gosh, I saw my neck. It's a photo.
It's always a photo that someone else took.
And they are like, I don't know why I didn't realize that my neck is, is there anything I can do for this? And absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just cracks me up that people don't put it on their face and neck.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just like the natural. I don't know, probably because I put like multiple things in my hand at one time, but I am always face and neck all the way down.
But I hear it a lot, more so than, any other body part. That and, of course, the top of your hands.
In your hands.
But, yeah, the neck for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
Number 28, regimens and treatments work for every issue. Surgery is never needed.
No, I disagree with that one. I think most of the time things can be greatly improved.
Okay.
But there are definite cases where surgery is required.
For sure.
If there's excess skin. Yes, we can tighten. We can do the chemical peels. We can do microinfusion. We can do LED. We can do IPL. We can do lots of things that will tighten and firm. But if you lost 500 pounds or 300 pounds or something like that, if you have this excess skin must always be removed.
Got it.
There is no getting rid of it 100%.
There's no magic wand.
There's not.
Yeah.
And there are lots of other reasons for surgical things. But I feel, too, that it's okay if you're getting this surgery. Now, mind you, if you walk into your surgeon's office and you've been taking care of your skin and you've been doing peels and you use your retinoids and your acids and your skin turns over and is really glowy and beautiful for what you have, he's going to, or she is going to be just so thankful.
Right.
Because let's say you're going in to get a facelift or something like that, something aggressive, have skin removed.
Sure.
And when your skin, when he sees that your skin is so healthy and firm, and it's good, he knows it's going to heal well. You're going to heal very scar-free or very minimally scarred.
Sure.
You're going to have a better outcome. Now, somebody else that goes in there that hasn't been taking care of their skin, most of the time they're going to be like, well, we need to put you on something. Here, try this, try that. Let's get you on this because otherwise you're not going to heal well. You can't just pull something tight and cut off the extra and be like, oh, there you look perfect.
Right.
You always still have to take care of your skin.
Right.
That needs to be a goal. And they work hand in hand. Nothing wrong with surgery. I'm all for it. But you have to have good skincare regimen. You have to be doing other things too.
That makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Number 29, you need to let your skin breathe.
I think our skin, I don't know that our skin necessarily takes a breath.
It is our largest organ.
It is your largest organ, and we need to allow things to penetrate and go in and out of it. But I can't state that, does it make sense to never have anything on your skin? And this is where this is coming from. I don't think it's good for you to walk around and not have any kind of protectant or moisture or something on your skin. We're not clogging your pores. We're not doing anything bad to your skin. We're not blocking it or not allowing oxygen to reach it. I mean, that's what an occlusive ointment does.
Got it.
Okay, so let's say like the only time your skin isn't really getting the oxygen and the things to penetrate is when you've put an occlusive ointment like Aquaphor or Vaseline.
Got it.
And you would only do something like that when you need to protect that skin. Let's say it's got a wound or it's being rubbed on or something like that, right? That's the only time you need an occlusive ointment. Any other time that you put products in your skin is still getting air.
Yeah.
It's not breathing, but it's still getting the air and oxygen that it requires.
Right.
But it's more important to give it the moisture it requires and protect it from water loss and, keep it hydrated, put your sunblock on. That's way more important to focus on.
Got it. Yeah, for sure. Number 30, if your skincare burns or stings when applied, it must be working.
Well, that can happen, obviously, with something that has a lower pH level, like, an acid, let's say. But that's not something that's required for it to work. That's just in relation to the pH level. It's low. If your skin is like a 5.5, if you put something on lower, it's going to sting. Yeah. Now, there are times where that's important. Right. Let's say when you're putting like a serum 15 on or something along those lines. Yeah, it's going to sting a little and that's going to dissipate in a matter of a minute. And then you can put your other products on. But if you're waiting for a product to burn or sting or cause irritation, and if it's not doing that, you think it's not working, well, that's not true at all, because even some of the strongest things that you put on your skin, let's say like a retinoid or like our Dream Peel, that has a super high percentage. Yeah. And that can definitely cause sensitizing. Yes, it can. But it's going to feel like heaven when you're putting it on. It feels buttery. So good. And, well, that's way stronger than anything else. So you can't be waiting for a burn. This isn't working out. You got to feel the burn. Right. That's not it. Not with skincare. No. They're going to work whether it burns or not. Right. And if you still have questions, you don't have to figure it out all alone. In our Peel Nation Facebook group, we have skincare experts, experienced peelers, and a whole community ready to help. Well, hopefully all of these 30 concepts and habits and things that we've talked about are going to help everybody. Absolutely. It's not always, some things are false, some things might be true, and kind of false, kind of true. It really depends on the particular ingredient or the product, all that kind of stuff. And it can be a little bit confusing, of course. And if any of these have sparked any questions with you and you want to reach out to us, please do. We're here Monday through Friday, 9 to 4:30 Eastern. Call us, 1-800-917-3155. Send us an email, support@platinumskincare.com. You can visit our Facebook group, Platinum Skincare Gurus. Join, ask your questions there. But we're here to help. And hopefully this inspired something in you today.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Talk to you soon.